welcome to the Instagram Stories for Saturday, December 30th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill, and this is the weekend edition. If you've been listening to the show over the past few days, you've heard clips of me talking to longtime listener of the show, Anna Hartley. We've been talking about our favorite social media news story of the year, our favorite Instagram feature, our favorite new technologies, favorite TikTok trends, and today we're going to talk about the biggest fail of the year, and we're also going to talk about where we see the biggest opportunities for improvement across social. Let's go on to the biggest fail of the year. What would you say for the past 12 months, the biggest fail that you've seen, social media related or not?
Oh, well, I went social media related when you sent the questions, but I think I have the same one as you. I think that the Twitter situation is for sure the biggest fail.
If you have not been aware of what's happened with Twitter over the past 12 months, how would you summarize that?
It's an interesting concept because you have someone like Elon Musk who is in so many ways sort of net positive for society overall. And I think right now he's the richest man in the world, right? And so, you have someone with just that much money and they're just not going to care and they're going to do what they want to do. And then, and which causes all these social issues as well when you're taking over something like a Twitter, even though in some ways so much of his personality is wanting to help society in all these other ways. But I don't know. I guess you're just seeing the person and how much money, and I don't know. And he's not, in my opinion, he's also not the most socially in tune, super smart in other ways, but he's not as socially in tune. So it's not shocking to me that he bought this social animal and kind of exploded it, and then it kind of imploded on itself. And yeah, that's never been his strong suit. So it's kind of a train wreck.
I think you capture it really well because he has done so many net positive things in terms of increasing the electric car adoption, especially in the United States. I can't speak for other places, but something that the car industry was so resistant, right? Probably accelerated that 10, 20 years in terms of general acceptance of electric cars, which, like you said, a net positive. But you realize for all that positivity, Twitter has become just a negative environment where when he came in, I can make it profitable. I can turn it around. That was his attitude. He fired so many people.
That part was the worst for me. So sad.
Yeah, those people did not do anything to deserve being laid off just because he came in and wanted to make the company profitable. And then also when Instagram launched Threads, he immediately wanted to challenge Mark Zuckerberg to some kind of cage fight, which really confused me because how is that going to make more people want to use your platform? I felt like that was just an ongoing news story that wouldn't go away. And then over the past 12 months, we've seen Twitter lose half of its value. Elon Musk has alienated advertisers. Threads, I think, has done better than expected just by the fact that it exists while Elon is doing such negative things around Twitter. So that's been a really interesting one to watch. And that's why I picked it for the biggest fail of the year. It sounds like we picked the same one for similar reasons.
Yeah, that may be one of those like stay in your lane lessons that he's unfortunately learning in front of the whole world. And, and I guess unfortunately for Twitter, he's rich enough it doesn't matter because I think after he bought Twitter, he was like sixth richest. And even now he's back up to number one. But I think the SpaceX and the techie sciencey stuff is probably more his avenue.
We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, Anna and I are going to talk about the biggest opportunities for improvement across social media and tech. So be sure to keep listening. And we're back. Just to recap, Anna Hartley and I have been talking about social media and tech over the past 12 months. And now we're going to talk about the biggest opportunities for improvement across social media and tech. Let's talk about where you see improvements or opportunities for improvement across social media in 2024.
The one that everyone's been saying forever, but sort of which has gotten better this year, but the cross posting with Facebook and Instagram and how all that functions and not being able to tag this person, even though the accounts are linked, and this reel not being able to go up, even though this is linked, and sometimes it's working and sometimes it's not. Or, I actually got a call yesterday from my old roommate helping somebody, and she's like, I can't get the pictures on Instagram to, be different sizes in my carousel, but on Facebook, it can do it through the meta. I feel like an idiot. What button am I missing? And I was like, you're not. I actually heard they're working on that, but you're not. You can't. Poor thing had been sitting there for an hour, I'm sure, trying to figure this out, and finally called me, and you can't do it, and just some really simple things like that where you're like, all right, you guys really got to talk to each other and sort this stuff out.
I was thinking about how much I want the platforms to be able to communicate to me why I should use one platform over another. And I think that's something that the platforms have stressed, of how much you should be customizing your content for each platform. Like, you shouldn't just make it in TikTok, download it with the watermark and post it on Instagram. Like, okay, that's a given, and I get that. But how much time am I really supposed to be spending on this? Because I don't want to spend any customizing it or making it any different from the platforms. I want to post it one place and have it go everywhere. And I don't want to waste any time on captions, hashtags, all that. So if I'm going to, you have to really convince me why I should. And when there's so many places, I can post a video to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, YouTube, Shorts. There's too many, and I don't understand why. So I'm looking for the platforms really to be more clear in 2024 about why you should post any type of content on which platform and the reason for doing that. So
you talked about that on one of your daily podcasts that I always listen to. So I've been thinking about that a little bit, and I'm not sure this is it, but I've come up with a theory a little on even just cross-posting the exact same thing, because normally I don't suggest, I suggest that you would switch it per thing and make it make sense per platform. But I will say I've noticed with me, with timing, I'll at different times, sometimes throughout the day, I tend to look at different platforms for whatever reason. For example, at night, I'm more likely to watch YouTube if I'm kind of gearing down for bed or something like that. Whereas in the morning, I'm more likely to flip open Instagram. So I don't know if, they're just overall trying to capture. They're just like, at least if you get it up, there's more time spent on ours. And
that's going to do it for today's episode. Come back on Monday. It's going to be the last part of this episode. We're going to talk about our favorite social media accounts currently, as well as our predictions for social and tech in 2024. So be sure to come back Monday for that episode.
Instagram news got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave, without a break or a pit stop. Still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and you gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.